All right, so one example of a power-up might be changing this explosion that I created last time. Now currently explode count is inside of this explosion center. If I want each player to have their own, I'm actually going to need to make sure that that variable is outside of this explosion. So I'm probably going to have to create a network variable that deals with this. Also, I'm going to need to make sure that each bomb creates its own center. So I'm actually going to change this to like explosion center 1 for this particular guy. And I'm going to create a network variable which keeps track of the size of this guy's explosions. So I'm going to define a new constant for this guy. It's going to be my E1 size maybe. And I'm going to start off with 5, sure. This, or not 5, 14. It's the slot I'm going to put it in, not how many things are in it. So E1 size is going to contain the size of the explosion for player 1. Player 1 is going to set that up when he's first created. So mplay data write E1 size. And I'm going to have this guy start at 5. So now that network variable contains that. When I create one of these explosions, one of these explosion center 1s, now instead of saying 5, I'm going to say, all right, read from E1 size, and that's going to be the variable size I'm going to have. So now, whatever that network variable has in it, that's the size of the explosion I'm going to have. I need to go into the bombs real quick and make sure that they create explosion center 1s instead. Otherwise, it's going to be like, hey, what are you talking about? I don't have one of those objects. All right, so what about a power-up sort of thing? So I'm going to create a new sprite for my awesome power-up. Explode power. Do I have anything like that? Sure, the fire is going to be my explode power-up. Create an object. Explode power object. It has that sprite. And for now, I'm just going to place this in the room. If you were really clever, you could even have it get created randomly depending on how these things happen. In the original Bomberman, when you have a temporary wall that gets destroyed, there's a chance it'll spawn one of the power-ups. All right, so if I collide with this thing, and I'm player 1, first thing I want to do is I want to destroy the other thing. So with the other thing, instance destroy. And also I'm going to write to the network that the size of my explosion should increase. So mplay data write to E1 size. Then I'm going to read whatever it currently is. Maybe I'll add 2 to that or 3 or something. So now the next bomb I place should be that large. I'm going to create an executable, try this out. I'm the host. There I am. When I place a bomb now, it goes that far. When I place another bomb, it goes much further. There we go. Basic power-up. The trick is I've got to make sure that it happens on all the screens. So that probably means you need some sort of network variable that lets everybody know that you have that power-up. If you're messing with speed, we're already writing down our position, so you don't need to worry about that. But something like explosions, you'll have to write it out. If you have some special ability, you'll have to write that out. so on. All right, so what about winning? So the key thing here is that I need to check to see if I'm the only player left. So if there's only one of these players left, including the clones, that means that person won. So that might mean I want to restart the room. It might mean I just end the game, however you're going to do that. I need some sort of controller that's in the room keeping track of that. Now I already have set my player and my player clones to have this player parent, and that's actually going to be useful. I believe game setup's already in the room, so I'm just going to use this guy for keeping track of my endgame as well. So in a step event, I'm going to be keeping count up how many players are currently in the room. So if the instance number of player parent is 1, then I'm going to do my end game stuff. So for now, I'm just going to say end of the game. And then I'm going to end the game. Now, if you want to say whether or not somebody won or lost, you're going to have to keep track. So you'll have to do a series of if statements that basically say if player 1 is in the room, or player 2, or player 3, and keep track of that. So I'm just going to try this real quick, see if that works. Yes, I want to replace that. Now, I should win instantly if I'm the host, because I'm the only player left, if I just start it right away. Start. End of the game. All right. So in theory, that should work with 2 players too. I'm paranoid, so I'm going to test that out. Host. Game created. Join. Start. This guy's like, hey, I dropped a bomb. Oh, I'm dead. Indeed, that works. Okay, so now what about the... So now I want to make it so that I can tell who won. So I'm going to go into this step event and keep track of which player is which. So this is the trigger for when the game should end. So I can say if player 1, if he's in the room right now, if player 1's in the room and he still exists, that means the other 3 clones are dead, and that means player 1 was the winner. And in fact, that's the same is true of player 2, player 3, and player 4. So if one of the actual players is in the room, that person won. So I'm actually just going to do a quick copy and paste of this thing. Otherwise, if player 2 is the one in the room, he won. Otherwise, if player 3 is in the room, well, I don't have a player 3 and 4, so I'm going to leave that out for now. You would do a similar thing for each of those. And the final else statement would be is that if only clones are left in the room, you lost. And you could, in theory, go through each of the different clones and see which one actually won, and actually say that, like player 3 won or whatever. Similar idea. So, one last test. I'm going to try this out. Save. Create executable. Yes. All right, that's the host. That's the person joining him. Start. All right, so this player's like, I drop a bomb. Oh no, I died. So this guy says, you lose. It ends the game. This guy says, hey, you win. And it ends the game. All right, I think that gets you through everything you need for Bomberman. So that's multiple players, updating correctly, temporary walls, bombs, explosions, all the fun and chaos of Bomberman. Keep in mind that you need 2 power-ups. It's up to you which 2 power-ups you decide to do. Could be speed, could be explosions, could be you have more powerful bombs that you can throw at them, whatever it is that you decide you want to do for your power-ups. Make sure that you have endgame stuff, and I think you're good to go.